Joe Schoen said he hopes to keep Mike Kafka. This is at the media section here at the Senior Bowl, which is going on right now down in Mobile, Alabama. He said there's a reason these teams continue to interview him for head coaching jobs. He's got a great reputation. I almost forgot. Put up the thing. Whoa, what was I doing?
Oh, my God. What were you doing there?
I don't know. I was just slacking here. Anyway, he says he's got a great reputation, not only in our building, but around the league. Side note here. Hold on. Got a great reputation, not only in our building. So he's got such a great reputation, you took away his play calling.
Yeah.
I have to throw that out there. I'm sorry. Anyway, he says a former player who played quarterback came up under Andy Reid, called plays in a playoff season his first year as an offensive coordinator. Pause. Timeout. Such a good job calling plays your playoff season that you took it away from him. I got to keep on saying it every time because it's all BS. It's all BS. Anyway, back on. Game on. Very detailed.
Game on.
Organized, smart coach, good leadership abilities. So selfishly, I hope he doesn't get the New Orleans job. But if he does, he's well deserving. He's a good coach, has a lot of ideas. Pause. Except play calling, apparently, because you took that away from him. I got to beat that dead horse. It's like I'm working at Elmer's Glue Factory over here. So, we're going to get sued by Elmer's now. Oh, well. Sure, they all do. It's okay. He has smart, good leadership. We're fortunate to have him on our staff. Like I said, I get it. Like, you can't see something negative about him. Like, especially when the guy's out for a head coaching job. But don't sit there and he called plays in a playoff season. Like, yeah, and you took it away from him within 2 weeks of the new season. Like, how much faith did you have in his play calling ability? Like, he didn't wait till 5-6 weeks.
Or you have to question too. It's like, how early did they take away his play calling? Like,
that's what I'm
was
saying.
It halfway through the first season? And they said, like, no, I'm saying, like, when he started with the Giants, like week 2.
No. The first year they've said it was all him. The first year was all him. There was no Dable. I'm sure Dable probably had like veto power, so to speak. But
that's what I'm saying. So how much veto power did, like, towards the end of the season did Dable say, "Oh, that's a nice play. You want to throw it? Yeah, no, we're going to run it here. Barkley. Oh, throw it again. Oh no, Barkley.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of what you got to keep in mind though too is at the end of the season. Again, remember we played really crappy defenses, like insanely bad defenses. Like we played the Vikings twice, including the playoffs. We played the Colts and destroyed the Colts that year as well towards the end of the season. And that definitely helped the offense look better than it actually was because we all have short-term memory. Like you can have a team that goes 6-0, hypothetically, and everything's firing all cylinders. And then can have a bunch of injuries and barely miss the playoffs. Like, oh, look, they were crap. It was a crappy year for them.
Yeah.
Their offense is bad. Their defense is bad. Like, that's the way it works. But, like, it's the reverse as well. If you look very good towards the end of the season, people remember you much more fondly than you actually were. I mean, let's be honest, that wasn't still a good offense. It was an offense we killed for last year, but overall, it's not a good offense still. You know,
look at just got hot at the right time.
Look at like Trevor Lawrence. That was a 22 the same year, I think, where he all of a sudden he hit like the second half of that season. It was that season. And like and it wins the one playoff game. Like, oh, Trevor Lawrence turned a corner. All of a sudden, Trevor Lawrence is good. He's figured it out. And then he went back to being poop again.
Well, in his fairness, he definitely played better the second year after that. Much better than.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's that year I'm talking about. That was his second year because 23 and 24, he was not good. 22, which is his first year with Doug Peterson, that was his year that he was good. And that was the second half of that year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No. So they didn't win a playoff game in 23, but they did go on a big winning. They won a lot of games in the second half of that season.
I don't remember that part. I remember 22, they won a whole lot of games. And then, like I said, I forget who they beat in a comeback win in the first round of the playoffs. I can't remember who that was. I want to say the Chargers. Was it the Chargers? Yeah, it was the Chargers.
Okay.
I remember Bosa being ticked off on the sidelines. It was the Chargers. But anyway, I'm just saying, like, that's the problem is people remember, I think, more better than it actually was because it wasn't a great offense. It was an average offense.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's like, woohoo. Like, imagine having fond memories about an average offense like that. How bad is that for us right now? Ooh, remember that year? We were average. Yeah. We were just as good as half the teams.
Yeah. Where we beat a really bad defense. Well, a bad defense where our defense just played better than theirs.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that to me is a lot of media hype on his part there. You know, I will give him credit for trying to hype his man up who's up for a head coaching position. But let's be honest, Joe Schoen's probably in his head going, I want the draft picks. Hire him. I want the draft picks.
Yeah.
2 third-round picks. 2 third-round picks. Now, I will say there is some news on Kafka today as far as New Orleans Saints job. Mike McCarthy, obviously former Packers and Cowboys head coach, did take himself out of the running for that job. So also Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator, took himself out of the running for that job as well. So Kellen Moore is considered the favorite for that job as of right now. But the Saints cannot hire him until after the Super Bowl. So we're not going to know probably until, the end of, a week and a half from after the Super Bowl, what's going to happen as far as the Saints potentially, unless they decide to give it to Kafka and we find out much quicker. But, might be a little bit of time. So we'll see what happens there. But he's probably like second choice right now. Kellen Moore is probably number one.
Yeah, you also have to look at it too. It's like as Kellen Moore, like, do you want to take that terrible team on, or do you want to stay as a potential team that might go back to the Super Bowl and get the opportunity to go to possibly a better team next year?
It all depends. I mean, you don't get many shots to become a head coach in this league. That's part of it. Same as like Kafka, if I could say hypothetically he gets offered it, I would say to him it's not a good job to take. But at the same point, you don't get many opportunities.
But at the same point, Kafka at this point spent the past 3 years got opportunities at the head coach's job?
Well, he's had opportunities to interview. He hasn't gotten jobs. From what I hear, though, he's a very good interviewer, and that's why the people keep bringing him in. His interview, by the way, the rumor is that his interview is 9 hours with the Saints. 9 hours. Can you imagine a 9-hour interview?
How much coffee served at that meeting? God.
That's like more than a day shift usually at a lot of jobs. I mean,
yeah.
I think the longest I've ever
take an intermission?
Intermission, you mean?
Yeah.
Intermission.
Intermission.
Intermission. But I think the longest interview I ever had was like an hour and a half, and that's because I sat with multiple people at that job the same day. It was like 2 interviews in once, basically. But
I definitely had like an hour and a half to 2 hour interview before, where I sat there and talked to a director, and we just connected at different levels where we talked about different things. Where half of the
they're having long walks together on the beach, and we connected on a different level. We had a picnic that evening.
You like combat sports? So do I.
Do you like hummus?
Yeah. It's got a Kafka joke.
What? Stay with X. Okay.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging